This is the number one thing that I do to be successful as an entrepreneur having ADHD. As you know, if you have ADHD or you have ADHD symptoms, it's very difficult to run a business because you're not focused all the time. You're not productive. You get distracted a lot. And therefore, your team who you're running, all your employees, rely on you and you're not very reliable. And so one of the most important things that I do before anything else, because if I don't have my body chemistry and my mind where it needs to be, how can I implement any business strategies? How can I lead my team? How can I take those quarterly strategies that we talk about in our meetings to improve in our business, to scale our business? It's very hard to implement strategies if your mind and your body chemistry is way off. It's so hard to implement that. So the number one thing that is so important is to manage your ADHD symptoms. And so this is how I do it. And this is how I do it with all my patients and clients that are entrepreneurs that are struggling with this, with their own ADHD. So the very first thing is you need to investigate, why do you have these different ADHD symptoms? Why do you have focus issues? Why do you have lack of motivation? Why are you not productive? Why are you not present? Why do you have also mental and physical burnout where you can't keep up with the work demands? Why are you stressed all the time? Why? Those are things that I want to know specifically, not only for myself, but also for the patients and clients that I do work with. And so really, it really comes down to is doing lab work to look at your own body chemistry of why this is happening. What are the imbalances? And so some really good starting points is looking at several different micronutrient tests, looking at B vitamins, looking at vitamin D, looking at iron levels, looking at zinc, looking at magnesium, looking at lots of different micronutrient tests can show, okay, are we deficient here? Also looking at different hormones that could be off. Could your testosterone, could your progesterone, estradiol, DHEA, all those, could those be off that are contributing to your mental and physical burnout state? Also messing up with your mood, messing with your sleep cycles. Also, could it be that you also have some digestive issues, running a good digestive panel that could contribute to a lot of your symptoms that you're experiencing? It also could be that you have adrenal insufficiency syndrome, where your adrenals are not producing enough cortisol to give you enough energy and also managing your stress. It could be several different things, but the important thing is to finally do investigative work, do lab work to truly see what is off. Now, once you have identified and investigated really what is truly off, it is now time to start eliminating the thing that is destroying you. Once you identify that through lab testing, it might be possibly that you got mold exposure. So if you did like a mold test, or maybe heavy metal toxicity, or it could be that you have candida overgrowth, whatever test it is. When you see that, you need to start now eliminating the thing that is causing that issue. Because if you just start implementing good foods and nutrients and stuff like that without eliminating the thing that is causing the problem, then it doesn't matter. Then you're never going to get better. You're never going to get the focus and energy that you want. And so it's so vital to really look at these things, because it's also probably the food that you're consuming that is causing these issues. And so you have to start cleaning up your diet. You have to start doing these things once you've identified what is the culprit. Then the next thing is to add what is deficient. So when you run all these different tests, especially micronutrient tests, you see what your vitamins and other minerals that are deficient. Then you obviously are going to do high doses of supplements based off of those specific things that your lab tests show that you were deficient in. Because when you can implement that, then you can start seeing improvements. But the thing is, supplementation only takes us so far. It's a great stepping stone to allow the body to start healing itself. But it does require more than that. It requires to start making big transitions in your lifestyle, such as getting good exercise. I find that this is so vital. If I'm not consistent with exercise, I find that my own ADHD symptoms start to creep back, and then I become the bottleneck of my business. But it also means good nutrition, making sure, yes, you're eating the right foods that you should be consuming and not just relying on supplements. So what are those nutrient deficiencies that you need to now apply in your food? You might think you were eating great, but there's probably some key things that you just weren't getting a good variety of different foods into your diet. It also means probably keeping yourself hydrated. Hydration is very important for the brain. If you are dehydrated, you're going to feel fatigued. You're going to feel brain fog. You're going to have focus and motivation issues if you don't keep yourself hydrated. It also means to really getting good quality of sleep as well. So if there's certain things that are sabotaging your sleep, identify with those, it's probably because you're being on your phone too much, you're getting too much light exposure, and you're not getting a good rhythm with your circadian rhythm. Now, there's a lot of information, so you should check out the description below where you can get access to my lab protocol that I give to all my ADHD entrepreneurs, because there's lots of labs that are out there. So definitely check that out to get access to my lab protocol for ADHD entrepreneurs. The next thing that is so critical is you need to start eliminating the toxic external environment that you have. Now, to really apply this more towards entrepreneurs, if you, for example, are doing all these different menial tasks that are causing you stress, it's very difficult to keep up with what you're supposed to do as a business owner. And also, that tends to drain your energy, and therefore you aren't doing the things that need to be done that you need to be doing. So you need to start delegating and handing that off. All the different menial tasks that are not necessary for you to do. And those are the external stressors that can be sabotaging you every day. The other thing is, do you have employees that are causing you a lot of stress? It might be time to fire them, because that is on your mind constantly, and it's not doing any good for not only for you, but also for your business. The other thing is possibly there's different patients and clients that you might be working with that are causing you a lot of stress, when it's probably time to say goodbye and maybe give them a refund to get them off your plate, because those things are going to constantly be in your head, and it's going to make issues constantly over and over again. And then it's going to sabotage your business. It's going to sabotage you as a business owner. And then your employees are going to be looking up to you when you're not quite there. Once you've gotten that dialed in and all the external stressors, like even looking at outside of just work, like if there's relationship issues, definitely need to fix that, because that will also sabotage your way of managing your ADHD and finally optimizing your health. Because if you don't eliminate those stressors, it's a roadblock. But once you've got that dialed in, the next thing is really to analyze and adjust the treatment plan to making sure that it is something that you can be consistent with. Because the important thing is having consistency. Who cares if you get results and you get it for just a month and then just go back to where you were? It's important to have that consistency so it fits with your lifestyle. So I like to analyze and adjust treatment plans with my patients and clients, and even for myself, so that I can be consistent and my patients can be consistent having those results, so that their employees can rely on them to be consistent. So sometimes if you overhaul your treatment plan and do something really extreme, like an extreme diet, it's very impossible to stick with that diet. But if you look at something, especially a treatment plan, and you can say to yourself, you know what, this is manageable, I could do this for the next 10 years or the rest of my life, then that is definitely the key type of treatment plan that is right for you. But if it's too complicated and you know you're not going to stick with it, then definitely don't even bother going through the process. Now, if you're doing an intense detox, I get that. Usually you're only gonna do that for about a month or two anyways. I do this all the time. But when I'm looking at as far as a consistent treatment plan that I'm going to stick with for the rest of my life, is where you need to really look at, is it something I can do? If you can't, there's no sense of bothering with it. And the next step would be is once you've gotten this all dialed down, you're consistent, now you're ready to optimize even more so, to have better longevity and to be able to have more energy, even have more hyper focus, and to be able to take yourself and your business to the next level. Then this is where you can retest and do more advanced functional lab testing, something that I love doing, testing and looking at how can I optimize even more so. But because you finally have really taking this seriously of managing your ADHD, then you're ready to start scaling your business and taking it to the next level. So you should watch this video next, where I show how I use my ADHD brain to grow a 7-figure business. So watch this video next.